Welcome to another episode of The Lounge. I'm Aaron Bates, and with me today is Jim Hess. Jim is the managing principal of Whitcomb Hess, a CPA and investment advisory firm here in Ashland, Ohio. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, my friend.
Jim, one of the things that you get to do is work with lots of different business owners, lots of different business managers. Certainly these economic times have been challenging. What things have been working for the people that you are working with?
It really has been a challenge. We are really seeing business owners, I think, struggling a little bit more than probably maybe they have in the 30 years that I've done this. And one of the things that I am consistently seeing from the businesses that I think are outperforming or doing the best, Jim Collins wrote the book, Built to Last, and he talked about, what are the very best companies doing that maybe the next tier aren't doing. And I think the very best, those CEOs or owners are really remaining positive even during these times. It is difficult. We are bombarded with a media that is just hitting us with negativity all the time. And I think it's really important in small businesses that these owners really stay positive and engaged and keep some type of a vision in front of their team members that, it's tough, but here's where we're going. We've got a direction. Good things are happening, and just kind of keeping the energy as positive as they can.
Great. What, if there were kind of three main things that you could say in addition to keeping things positive, is there anything else in addition to that?
Sure. I guess as I kind of think about it, I think it starts with attitude. It all begins with the mindset and how we approach what it is we do in all of life, let alone in business. So I think if we can keep a positive attitude ourselves, I think that is step number one. Probably the second thing is communication. It's how effectively and frequently are we communicating with our team. I think the best business leaders through adversity are increasing communication with both customers and with their team members. They're probably having more frequent meetings, kind of informing people of where we're at. They might be a little bit more open with information than they might otherwise be, because there is such a skepticism and concern. Am I going to get laid off? Is this business going to go under? Whatever. So frequently we'll see business owners maybe just communicating a little bit more openly without just laying it all out there, to let people know, we're okay, we're strong, and things are tough, but they're okay. Sure. And then lastly, I think it's execution. It's how effectively do we carry out those things that we have to do extremely well to be successful as a business.
Sure. And I guess, we were talking a little bit before this about you mentioned a sports team or a basketball team, I guess is something that you're interested in. You see that in a good leader on a basketball court. And so some of these same things about attitude and communication, and I guess it boils down then to execution, doing the things that you're talking about and casting the vision for, similar to some of the leaders in sports that we see. Anything else that one final piece of advice that you'd give somebody watching this video, as far as one thing that they could do to help improve their business in this time?
Sure. I think one of the things we want to make sure of is that we are measuring and managing the right things. When things are going great, sometimes you can, be tracking things that maybe aren't as critical and it's still working. But when it gets down to where it's really important and times are more difficult, I think as a business you have to know that the things that you're tracking and measuring are the most important things. And frequently we see businesses run by the checkbook. If I have money, I'm doing good, and if I don't, I'm doing poorly. And frequently that is not the best and most important thing to track. So sure. It's knowing your business well enough to understand what are the things that at the end of the day, if I consistently win these. In sports, you might say, you think of turnovers. You'll frequently be watching a ball game and they'll say, if you win the turnover battle, you're going to win the game. Sure. That's the kind of thing that we want to think about in business, is what are the things that we have to win, and then how do we put practices in place to manage those and measure them, so we know, hey, you know what, we're gaining new customers every day. So even though maybe sales aren't up because each customer might be ordering less because of their economic situation, we've added 10 new customers this month. So we know if we keep doing that consistently, we're going to be fine. And when things improve, we're going to be better than fine because we've added all this new business as we've moved along. So that's an example of something I think is really important to know.
And is that something that's universal across most businesses, or is it really, is the one thing that they should manage kind of different for every business?
I think there may be a few things that will be somewhat universal, but they are specific typically to the business and the type of business that you're involved in is what those things would really need to be.
And how does a business owner know what those critical components are?
Right.
I mean, how do they determine those things? I mean, what would you say?
Well, the thing we try to do with businesses that we're working with is sit down and say, at the end of the day, you know, what are the things that if we do these things right, we know that the financial statement at the end of the month is going to look okay. And most business owners, when you put them in that context, they say, well, I know what I have to do. I have to deliver my goods on time. I have to do them with a very low % of error rate. I have to keep my scrap down. I have to add new customers. I have to add new patients. I have, you know, so they typically, if you just sit and have a conversation, within 60 minutes, I could probably sit with most business people and figure out what are the 5 or 6 things that really, really matter. And then it's just a matter of saying, okay, how do we measure these? How do we quantitatively determine that we're winning the day with each of these items? And then you manage from that and say, hey, we're improving or we're not, and how do we improve? And just move forward that way.
Great. Sounds like a good plan. So,
Thanks.
well, thanks for sharing.
You bet.
Thanks, folks, for watching another episode of The Lounge. We hope to see you again next time.